Over the last 10 years or so, there's been many innovations in the carpet cleaning industry. And fortunately, many of us have benefited, whether we have a truck mount or a portable, especially when it comes to hoses, namely hose cuffs. Now, most of us are familiar with the old style cuffs. You notice that they just screw on, they're reverse threaded onto the cuff, and then they have a little coupler in the middle, and you just press them together. Now, as these little teeth on here start to wear, the big problem with that is they'll fall apart on you, and that'll drive you crazy inside of a home. Also, when it gets cold outside, you can't get them apart, and that's aggravating. But the biggest problem of all is they have the coupler in the middle, which downsizes the airflow. What does that do? Well, it creates a turbulence as the air moves through. So the more hoses you have hooked up, the more turbulence that you have. And I, like most of us cleaners, like to have the maximum amount of efficiency and vacuum at the wand. So, fortunately, they came out with some new cuffs. First off, I'm going to show you the Chinese cuff. And it's a swivel cuff, and that's nice. Okay, the problem is they're kind of tight and they don't swivel very well. Also, they screw all the way together. From one point, one cuff touches the next cuff at this point. The problem with that is, as over a little bit of time, you have to put black tape on it. And that black tape keeps them from coming apart, and it also keeps them from leaking air, which, when you have an air leak inside of a cuff, it's kind of like sucking water through a straw. And if you have a hole in that straw above the water source, what happens? It takes that path of least resistance, and you don't suck up much water through a straw. Same thing with this. Now, before I move on to the cuff that we've actually switched all of our trucks to, which are the Mytee Lynxx cuffs, I'd like to mention there's several different types of innovative cuffs on the market now. You have the standard screw together. They're very inexpensive. These are Chinese also. You can get them on the internet. You have the snap cuffs. You have the slide cuffs. Now you even have 2.5-inch cuffs. Now, I'm not a big proponent on 2.5-inch hoses. I feel like forward to the door accomplish the same thing without all the aggravation. But that's another story. We'll get into that later. Alright, now, let's move on to the Mytee Lynxx cuffs. What do I like about them? Well, first off, they're American made. I really like that a lot. Okay? But namely, when I went to Connections and I tested them, the first thing I was worried about, because I heard they swiveled so well, was that they probably leaked. Notice how well they swivel. It's very simple, so you don't have to worry about your hoses getting all tangled up inside of a home, or you pull them out to the truck to wind them in. I really like that a lot. Also, they left some room for play. So in other words, one cuff doesn't meet the cuff all the way when it comes to the threads. What does that do? Well, as it starts to wear and tear, it gives you that room right there to make up the difference as they wear and tear. And you don't have to put that black tape on it. I really like that a lot. Plus, they're the straight through design, so you don't have any turbulence, and you have maximum airflow. Also, one other thing I like about the Mytee cuffs is that it really fits the new style hose as well. Now, some people have complained that they picked up some Mytee cuffs or the Chinese cuffs, and the problems they ran into is their hoses didn't fit the cuffs and they slid out. Well, if that's the case, all you need to do is pick up a little bit of Gorilla Glue. Why do I say Gorilla Glue? Because Gorilla Glue expands as it dries. So when you put it on the hose inside of the cuff, if you have the inexpensive or the older style hoses, just let it set for about 24 hours. It'll fill in there, it won't leak, and it won't pull apart on you. Okay, well that covers all the different types of hose cuffs that are available on the market today. Hopefully, if you have the opportunity, whether you have a truck mount or a portable, you can go ahead and upgrade. And if you want to support Mytee, as I've done, because I think they make a fantastic product and it's American made, just look up Mytee Lynxx cuffs at your local distributor and pick up some for your truck mount or your portable. This is Rob Allen with TruckMountForums. Have yourself a great day.